So, hello everyone. I feel like every single time I turn on this camera, I need to address something, and that is the blinding light right in front of me, as you can see from my blue light glasses. I have a ring light, question mark. So I was noticing that the video brightness, the light brightness of my videos was severely lacking. And it was upsetting me. I don't know if it was upsetting you, but it was upsetting me because I want to produce quality content. And that didn't look quality to me. So I went to Burlington yesterday and I found a bunch of tripod stuff with lights, either ring lights or little lights on the side. And I was gonna get one of the little smaller ones with the light on the side because it was $6 or something, or $10. But then I found this for $4.99 and I got it instead because I was lacking brightness, not a place to allocate my phone, because I just balance y'all on a bunch of index cards and I roll with it. But yeah, I hope this brightness is lighter. I hope the lighting is better now, because I'm not gonna stand at my window every single time because I have my laptop right next to me, so. And memorizing a 4-page script is going to take me way longer than a week. Also, my bed is still a mess. You know what? Let me adjust my chair before we continue. So, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And this video is following something that I have done since February, which is talk about important people in history that we don't talk about either because they're a minority, not either because they're a minority, because history is severely whitewashed. I began this series in February talking about Black inventors, and I talked about Jack Johnson and his invention of the wrench in a 2-parter. So if you would like to see that, please click the iCard that will be on your screen above. I also did a video on Frederick Jones and his series of inventions, one of the most notable being refrigerated long-haul trucks. If you would like to see that video, you can click the iCard above on the screen. And since it is June, which is Pride Month, I wanted to talk about LGBT plus or possibly LGBT plus inventors. Last time we talked about Florence Nightingale. If you would like to see that video, you can click the iCard above. And in today's video, we will be talking about George Washington Carver. He was actually a recommendation for my Black inventors video, but I found from an article that he was possibly LGBT plus, so I added him into this bunch. So let's begin. Wow, the reflection from the light is ruining my eyesight, but it's fine. It's fine. So George has no specific birth date whatsoever, but he is believed to have been born in 1861 near Diamond Grove, Missouri. George was born into slavery because his mother Mary was an enslaved woman who was owned by Moses Carver. During the Civil War, he and his mother were kidnapped and taken to Arkansas. Moses, the slave owner, found George, but he did not find Mary. Moses then took George back, who was severely ill, and he brought him back to the plantation and basically nursed him back to health and took care of him. Moses taught George and his other siblings the importance of having an education, and by the age of 10 or 12, George left the plantation in search of an education. He did hands-on work meanwhile he was receiving this education, and because of his hands-on work, he grew a fondness towards agriculture. He would paint agriculture. He would paint like landscapes and stuff like that. In his late 20s, George received a high school education at Minneapolis, Kansas. He was rejected from going into a Kansas University because he was Black. After this, he attended the Simpson College in Indianola, Iowa, where he studied piano and art. He later transferred to Iowa State Agricultural College, where he received a bachelor's degree in agriculture in 1894 and a Master of Science degree in 1896. Also in 1896, he went to Alabama to direct the Department of Agriculture at Tuskegee Normal and Industrial Institute, headed by Booker T. Washington. Here he tried to help African American people and Black people by teaching them useful skills and stressing conciliation, compromise, and economic development as paths for the advancement of Black people. Okay, so anyways, as my life is falling apart, as soon as he began working at Tuskegee, he began researching ways to remedy the depleted soil in the South. Since the South depended a lot on cotton and the production of cotton, the soil would literally be depleted of nutrients after the first harvest. So George urged farmers to start planting peanuts and soybeans to restore the nitrogen in the soil. He also urged farmers in Alabama to plant sweet potatoes because of the type of soil that they have. Since there was not a huge demand for things such as sweet potatoes and peanuts, George developed 300 derivatives for peanuts, such as dyes, milk, and paint, and 118 for sweet potato, such as ink, synthetic rubber, and postage stamp glue. Now, I may be a little controversial. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. But George Washington Carver did not invent peanut butter. It's a myth we have all been taught in school, and this just proves my point that the American education system is no bueno. Peanut butter existed for years, for centuries before this. And if you don't believe me, you can check my sources. Speaking of my sources, I have a link tree down below also with my sources, but there's also a link called Important Information, where you will find a Google Doc filled with a plethora of petitions to sign, GoFundMes to donate to, videos you can watch to donate the AdSense to. Very important stuff. So if you would like to check that out, please do so down below. Very important. Or you can just Google it yourself, but it's a myth. George Washington Carver did not invent peanut butter. He invented 300 other things that we can do with peanuts, but peanut butter was not one of the things that he invented because peanut butter already existed before that. Anyways, because of all these derivatives, Peanuts became one of the 6 largest crops in the U.S. The U.S. government allotted farmers 5 million acres of the peanuts to just own. George released farmers from their dependency on cotton as a crop and as a way to make money. Well, obviously. In 1916, George was elected to the Britain Society for the Encouragement of Arts, Manufacturers, and Commerce. In 1923, he received a Spingarn Medal. He declined to work for the Thomas Edison himself for a salary of more than $1,000 annually. And the reason that he declined working for the Thomas Edison himself is because he was loyal to Tuskegee. He was also visited by President Calvin Coolidge and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was friends with Henry Ford and Gandhi. In 1931, he declined an offer from Joseph Stalin to view the Soviet Union and aid them in their agricultural woes. In 1940, he donated his life savings to establish the George Washington Carver Foundation at Tuskegee. In 1941, Times Magazine labeled him the Black Leonardo. During World War II, he replaced dyes imported from Europe with his own, and he ended up making 500 different shades of his own. During his time, many Black people and African American people criticized him because they viewed him as complacent in social and racial issues. I'm just putting that out there because that was found in a couple of my sources. I don't really feel comfortable speaking on that because it's not my critiques to level at him. I'm not a part of the Black community, so if the Black community wants to criticize him for that, go for it. And if he wasn't doing anything, if he was just being complacent in the social issues and the racial issues, then by all means, I level that criticism towards him as well. I don't really know what else to say. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that as well because I didn't want to make it seem like I was just like erasing that part of his history. So yeah, if you are a part of the Black community and know more information on this, please leave it down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and your criticisms towards him, and educate myself. So yeah, George felt that he was working for the betterment of Black people, such as poor sharecroppers, which led to the betterment of the South. So because he was increasing the nitrogen of the soil and making it better, he would be helping poor sharecroppers, which were mostly predominantly Black people at the time. So he thought that he was helping. Also some scientists see George as more of a concoctionist and not an actual scientist. If you're more knowledgeable than me, which you most likely are, please tell me more about that down below. White America viewed George as a symbol of intelligence, which, I mean, he is intelligent. So now some of y'all may be saying, Jess, where's the LGBT? I'm not seeing it. one of my sources claim that many people believe that he is bi. One of my sources states that Carver never married or expressed interest in dating women, and rumors circulated about his sexuality at Tuskegee Institute while he was an employee, in particular his enjoyment of giving therapeutic peanut oil massages to and engaging in horseplay with handsome men was seen as unusual. Late in his career, Carver established a life and research partnership with another male scientist. Did I put the quotations at the end of that? Okay, well, quotation marks at the end of unusual. Late in his career, Carver established a life and research partnership with another male scientist, Austin Wingate Curtis Jr. The two men cohabited from 1934 until Carver's death in 1943. Oh, no, never mind. No quotation marks at the end of unusual. The quote continues. My bad. Carver and Curtis kept details of their lives discreet, and as such, historians know little about how these men understood their relationship. Nonetheless, the fact that Carver willed his assets to Curtis testifies to the significance of their relationship, and that Carver would gently tuck his hand into Curtis's arm when the two set off to check experiments. So basically, he had a very close relationship with his assistant, Austin Curtis. The two worked together for George's last 8 years of life, 1935 to 1943. When he passed, he left everything that he owned to Austin Curtis. And Austin took over George's position as the director of agriculture and used the money left to him to, again, set up the Carver Museum and the George Washington Carver Research Foundation at the Tuskegee Institute. Many people speculate that he was bi because of this. The quote from the source and how he never married a woman. Sadly, George Washington Carver passed away January 5th, 1943 in Tuskegee, Alabama. So that is George Washington Carver, who was possibly bi. Again, it's just rumors, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope if you are more knowledgeable, again, on the last couple of items that I said, please continue to inform me. I would love to learn. I was going to say something else. Oh, I hope you guys are not too mad at me for ruining your childhood of believing that George Washington Carver invented peanut butter when it's not really true. And that's just erasure of the creation of peanut butter that was created by indigenous people. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have liked, commented, shared, and subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Next one's gonna be pretty cool though. Not to toot my horn. The next video that I'm planning is going to be pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoy that video, and this video, and the videos I've published and you've watched.
Lisa, everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something